Okay, yeah. Hello, guys. It's Paul from Babel Tech here. Um, so, at one of our recent monthly coaching sessions, um, I had a good discussion with the guys about email marketing and how we can incorporate email marketing into our business strategy, and how we can build an email marketing list using your AgoBiz, not AgoBiz, using your Babel Tech website. Um, so for anyone who's still sort of on the fence about whether or not email marketing is even worth it, I just want to mention that I watched a YouTube video by Vanessa Lau recently. Pretty sure Vanessa Lau is her name, but she's got over 500,000 Instagram followers. And in the video, even she was stressing how important it is for her to get her followers onto an email marketing list. So, if somebody with 500,000 social media followers is still concerned about building an email marketing list, then I think we all should be. And there's lots of reasons for it. I'm not going to go into them in this video because it's going to take too long, but I have a blog post on the Babel Tech website if you're interested about the reasons why you should be doing email marketing. But anyway, this video is going to talk about how we can actually create forms to capture people's email addresses. So I'm using my dummy account here, which is called AgoBiz, English for Japanese accountants. Now, so this is now this has the default pop-up squeeze form, which you would get with any account that you start on Babel Tech. So it has the familiar pop-up when you click the button. There's actually a bit of psychology that goes into this. So they call this a micro commitment. So the theory is that when people click the button to get something, they're actually taking the first step towards completing a process. And that's why you often see these kind of like pop up windows. Um, Now there is the other kind of pop-up window, of course, which just happens by itself after 5 or 10 minutes, 5 or 10 seconds on the page, and we all hate those, of course. And I'm not going to show you how to do that because I really don't think they're a good idea. But there is a variation to that, which I will get to. Um, so the first thing I want to show you is like if we want to create more of these click the button, see a pop-up type interactions. Um, so we need to understand a couple of things. So the first thing is like maybe if I just go to the back end first. Okay, so I'm on the dashboard of my site here. If I come to the Convert Pro dashboard, so Convert Pro is the name of the plugin which generates all of these call to action pop-up forms. So we can see I've got two here. Just ignore this one, the top one. It's inactive at the moment anyway. So this is the default one. If I click on that, it says modal pop-up on button click. So modal pop-up. That's what we call those pop-up effects. So you can see here, like all this is editable. If I click on that, I could edit any of this text. I could increase the font size, adjust the text alignment, all that kind of stuff. The bit that I really want to show you here is here under the second step, which is configure. Now you'll notice that there's like two green check boxes on here. The first one is after a few seconds on this page. So we only want to show this pop up if someone has been on the page for a few seconds, and I believe the reason for that is that it's to prevent bots. So if a bot visits the page there, then they're on there for like a fraction of a second, and so this doesn't get triggered, and that's probably a good thing. You don't want bots to be activating your form. But the other thing that is relevant to us here is this checkbox down the bottom on click. So if I just pull that down, It says display when the user clicks a link, button, or an element. Okay, so in our case, it's a button. And it says enter your CSS class or ID, and I've got here dot modal hyphen popup hyphen business. So in web talk, a class or an ID is just a way of identifying something on the page. And for our purposes, you don't need to worry about too much about the difference between classes and ID. Class is something that if there's like a number of buttons on the page all doing the same thing, we might use a class for them. If there's like one unique button on the page, we might use an ID for it. Class is identified by that dot, the period sign, and ID is identified by a hash mark. But really, you don't need to worry too much about that. Okay, I'm just pointing that out. So in this case, we're saying activate the pop-up for any button which has this class of modal hyphen pop-up hyphen business. Okay, so that's how the system knows to activate this pop-up. I'm going to go back to my dashboard here. All right. So it knows that because if I activate the page editor, and if I click on this button here, and if I go to the advanced tab, right, so you'll notice here, if I scroll down here under HTML element, I'm using the class ID modal hyphen popup hyphen business, and easy trap is don't use the dot when we're identifying here on the front end, because it knows this is a class. So there's no need to put in the dot there. You see the one above it is an ID. So the same thing, if we were using an ID, you could put it in there. Don't put any prefix, but here we're using a class. So anyway, so it's got it. So this button has a class identifier of modal hyphen popup hyphen business. So if I wanted to put more buttons on this page to do the same thing, to pop up the same thing, what I can do, for example, is maybe I'll duplicate this one. So I love duplicating things. Saves me recreating them and making mistakes. So I can just duplicate and drag this down. Maybe I'll put him down here. Let's see. Maybe I want to put this over aligned on the left. So if I go to the style tab, you can see here I've got an alignment control here. So let's align that to the left. Let's save it. Let's hit done, publish. All right, refresh the page. And this should work. Yep, there we go. So I've now got a secondary button, and you could add as many of these buttons as you like. If they've all got the same class ID, they'll all generate the same pop-up. Let's do this a slightly different way. Let's say I'm going to get rid of this button I just added. So close that. Delete this module. Yep. Let's say, well, let's get myself out of the way. I'm going to put a button on here, so I'm going to drag out my button, and let's say, what was the name? What was the name of that pop-up? Hang on, I'll get to that in a second. Let's call it, yeah, click here. Okay, save it. Modal pop-up business, got it. Okay, so maybe modal pop-up business. I'm going to copy all of that. Right click, copy. Yep, cancel. Right. Open that. Go down to class ID here. Paste. Okay. Save that. Okay. So let's hit done. Publish. refresh the page. It's always a good idea to refresh after you make changes, just so that the browser's got the latest JavaScript and what have you. If I click on here again, there we go. So I've added a totally new element to the page, but because it has that class identifier, it will activate this pop-up, which is associated with that identifier. Right, so that's all good. Let's get rid of that button. Right, now done, publish. Yeah. So what other types of forms could we put on to a page to capture this all important email address? I'm going to show you that now. So let's hit create new. Okay. I want to show you a few here. The first one I'm going to show you is this full screen pop-up. Okay. So it says a lightbox overlay that can be launched on any web page with a dedicated call to action. All right. So let's select that one. Right, now I want to use this one here for our example. Now, by the way, if you come to here and you select this and you get a message saying something like this license key must be validated, just reach out to me. So you can send me an email at info@babeltech.com, or go to the Babeltech homepage and click on the Need a Hand widget and submit a technical support ticket. So it just means that the license hasn't been validated for your account. I think for all of the newer accounts, you will already have the license validated. Some of the older Babeltech accounts may not have it validated yet. So anyway, just reach out to me. It's very simple for me to just validate that, and then you'll be on your way. So let's select this. Let's call it full page. Now I'm gonna show you how to do this using something called an exit intent pop-up. And you've probably seen this. An exit intent pop-up is where, as you're leaving the page, like as you move your cursor away from the page, that's when it gets triggered. And I've got no problem with this, because I think that at this point, the user's already had enough of your page. So it does no harm to show them your opt-in, your pop-up, your lead magnet. At that point, they've already finished their interaction with your page. So it's like a chance to just grab their attention before they leave and say, hey, before you go, you might be interested in this thing. So let's call it full page exit intent. Right, okay, so you can see all of these things are editable. So let's edit this one, for example. So instead of free cheat sheet, let's call it free guide to doing well at English job interviews. Right. And you'll see straight away that I need to just drag that up a bit so we can get all of the text on there. So that's fine. And so you can edit all this stuff. It's always a good idea to check how it looks on mobile, by the way, as well. Yeah, so that needs to be just adjusted a little bit for mobile. Yeah. Maybe I want to drag that down a little bit as well. So, you can spend time getting this pixel perfect. That's not the main point of what we're doing here today. So anyway, okay, so that's the pop-up. Now configure. So this is where it gets interesting. So again, we've got this trigger after a few seconds on the page to sort of like put sand in the wheels of any bots. So that's fine. We'll leave that there. What I'm looking for is this one, exit intent. So display when a user is about to leave the site. So all we need to do there is just toggle that on. That's it. That's literally all we need to do. Now target. Now, so we can trigger this exit intent pop up on your whole website, which is the default, or you might want to specify particular pages, or maybe you want to specify that it only occurs on blog posts. There's really a few options here. So if I want it to appear on all blog posts, for example, I might choose that one. If I want this to appear on all my pages, I might choose that one. If I want it to appear on the front page, this is like the home page of your site, I can choose that one. In our case, I'm going to target a specific page though. So if I click in there, now the page that I'm going to target is called the email offer page. So if I start typing email, okay, and ignore all this stuff under build a template here. So it's under pages, right? So it's telling me that it's found 3 pages that are called email. So there's the email offer thank you page. We know about that one. There's this other page that I must have used for another exercise. This is the one that I want. This is the one where I want to show this exit intent pop up. So I'm going to select that. And that's really all I need to do here. So connect. So this would be where you connect it to your MailChimp account, or if you're using another email marketing platform like ActiveCampaign or ConvertKit or whatever, you would connect it here. I'm not going to go through that in this video because I've already created another video for, at least for MailChimp. If you're using ActiveCampaign or something else, then the steps for that should be pretty self-descriptive. I don't have an ActiveCampaign account, so I can't show you how to do that. But if you have trouble, reach out. I'm sure we can work it out. So what I need to do here is save it, and don't forget to make it public, otherwise it won't work. And let's go back to the dashboard. Okay, so now we've got this extra call to action, the full page exit intent pop up. So if I come back to here, refresh my page, right, and if I go to leave the page, voila, so it pops up on the screen here. So we've got a full page exit intent pop up now to capture somebody's email address offering this kind of guide. So you'll see it looks like there's a couple of images here that didn't come through properly, so there could be a broken link or something there. So you might want to just delete those if that's the case. You can add your own images onto the page. So these are coming through from a template, so maybe for some reason the link to the original template wasn't quite working, so I might just delete that. Save that again. So I'm not sure if we're going to see this pop up again. Yep, there we go. Okay. So yeah, so that's how we do an exit intent pop up, and I think these are really handy. I use them a lot. I like them a lot. As I said, I think it's like a non-interruptive way to collect email leads. So that's another one. Let's go back to the Convert Pro dashboard. Right. Now let's talk about another kind of form that we can use to collect email addresses, and that is on your blog content. So if you've got posts in your blog, this is where you're gonna get a lot of like free traffic. So as your posts get indexed by Google, and if they're well written, they should appear for Google search in the Google search results page when people are looking for answers to particular problems. They'll see your post, they'll go there, and so this is a great opportunity to get their email address. Let's take a look at that. So let's go to my blog posts. Right, so you can see I've got some dummy stuff in here right now. But okay, let's say I wanted to put in a form, embed a form at the end of this post so that I can capture some email addresses. So let's create new. Okay, what I want is the in content form. So it says an opt-in form that can be embedded anywhere within the content of the web page. So let's select that. Okay, and I'm going to choose this one. It's called in content embed form. Okay, and if this looks familiar, it's because I have already used something like this on my own blog. So we can edit this, of course. Let's go to the configure. Now, configuration option on this one's really easy. All we have to do is just copy that code. That's called a short code, by the way. Anytime you see these like square brackets around things, these are short codes, and I'll show you how we use that. So if I come over to this blog article and launch my page editor, what I should use here is the HTML module. So let's drag that one out. Go to the General tab and right-click, paste, and save it. Done. Publish. Refresh the page. I know why it's not appearing. It's because we didn't make it public. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so let's refresh that page again. Right, there we go. So I've manually embedded this this form, this email squeeze form, into the bottom of this blog post, and I could put this on like a page, or I can put it on my home page, I could put it anywhere using that short code that I just showed you. Now, but what if I just want the system to automatically put this at the bottom of every blog post? Like, let's say I'm planning to do some writing, I'm planning to publish a few posts. Wouldn't it be handy if it just automatically embedded this squeeze form at the end of the post? Well, we can do that. By the way, manually doing it like this is great if you've got an article about a particular topic, and then you want to offer like a further resource. So we call that like a content upgrade. So let's say this article was about like how to do well at English in an English job interview. Your opt-in might be something along the lines of, hey, opt-in, get my PDF, on my 10 top secret tips on how to do well at the job interview. So that's a kind of content upgrade. So we're giving people content for free, and then we're saying, subscribe, and then you'll get this even better content through my email list. So manually doing it this way might be good if you've got a particular article and you want to offer some sort of a content upgrade. But let's just say we want to have a generic opt-in form at the end of every blog post. So what I might do is launch that again. Let's get rid of that. Done. Published. Refresh. So let's go back to here. Create new. And I want to use this one, this before and after. It says a banner or an opt-in form that can be embedded before or after your blog posts on a page. So let's select that. Yep. So, and by the way, I think you could also edit this so it's not even asking for an email address. It could be like just a banner that says something like, "Hey, take a trial lesson. Here's the link to my trial lesson booking page." So if you want to have that on every blog post, then it's maybe a good idea, to use this kind of technique. But anyway, let's select this one, and let's call it auto add to end of every blog post. Okay, and configure options. Now this is pretty simple also. So it lets you choose before the post, after the post, both. Inside page or post content. I'm not too sure why you would want that one, but I just want to use after the post. And again, you'd need to go through and connect this with your email marketing platform of choice. We're not going to do that here. Let's save it. Let's make that public. Right. So if I refresh the page, bingo, there we go. So that's at the bottom of this post. If I check the previous post, it's also at the bottom of that one. So you can see how that works. And of course, through the dashboard, you'll want to edit this so that it promotes your, whatever content you're offering through your email marketing list. Like it could be something like, subscribe to my list and get monthly tips on how to do better at the IELTS test, or get monthly tips on how to help your child do better at phonics, or whatever it is, whatever your niche market is. So so that's pretty much it. So I wanted to show you a few techniques for adding email squeeze forms to your website, so we can start to really build an email marketing list, and we can use that email marketing list to really connect with our tribe, to get people aware of the services that we offer, to offer free content from time to time, so that we build up the know, like, and trust factors. That's what marketing is all about. And also to, of course, send them offers to take a trial lesson with us, a strategy session with us, and so on. So it all starts with having people's contact information and building up that familiarity. And that's why I highly recommend email marketing as a very cost-effective way for freelance teachers, coaches, and tutors to do that. So hope that helps. If you've got any questions, reach out to me. And by the way, Babel Tech also has a course on email marketing using MailChimp. So we've got the complete training guide to MailChimp for teachpreneurs. So the link for that is on the Babel Tech homepage as well. Just look in the footer, you'll find it. All right, so thanks everyone. So stay safe. Bye for now.